Hey, it's MK, and I am here with a Stretch the Sketch video for you guys today. And today's Stretch the Sketch is using a layout from Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches. And this is the sketch created by Lisa Carlson. So I'm going to stretch this across a 2-page-ish layout, but I don't realize that I forgot the other page until after I show you guys what's in my little envelope. So here is a closer look at the sketch for today. And it's really cool because she even gives us all the little measurements and everything. But I think it was supposed to be an 8.5 by 11 sketch, and I was only going to stretch it to a 12 by 12. And then I realized I could even stretch this across an 8.5 by 11 and a 12 by 12. So that's what I'm going to end up doing. All right, I took my sticky note off because the last time I forgot to take my sticky note off, I chopped right through it. Okay, a new company that I found over on Etsy is called Beeswax. She makes this amazing wax seals, and they already have a sticky back to them and everything. So here is her Etsy information, her Insta information, and even her email. Her shop is taking a small break right at the moment, but when she comes back live, oh my gosh, her creations are amazing. From Pretty Little Studios, the Wildflower Collection, I will be using these wildflower stems, and I know they don't match at all, but just watch. It'll work, I promise. I also have these pre-colored chipboard pieces from Dusty Attic that I created a while ago, and I'm glad to get them out of my stash. I have this last little piece of Mintay that I'm hoping I can add to this layout because she's been hanging on for a while and needs to be used up. Also from Mintay, I have this Wilderness collection. Now this Mintay one says it's by what looked like Corolla. I could be wrong, but I don't know if she's the designer of the Wilderness collection or not. I'm not really sure, and I haven't done a whole lot of research about Mintay and whether or not they have designers like like 49 and Market does. I also have this gorgeous, look at this wood grain. Oh my gosh, it looks like my desk over where I do all my woodworking with all the scratches and the marks and stuff like that on it. But it is from a mix-in set back in September and October of last year, 2023, from Close to My Heart. Now, what Close to My Heart does, which I don't think is relevant at this point, but every collection that they have a mix-in paper, which is another set of papers that you can purchase that match both collections that just came out for that month. So this one here is October and September's, and this one is also another piece from that catalog release, September and October. But every paper in that collection either matches one piece of or one set of collection that they came out with or the other set. I hope that makes sense, which I thought was really cool. So instead of just working with those one papers, you get a couple of B-sides to play with as well. So anyways, I'm going to take apart all of these goodies. I'm going to go through all of these gorgeous wax seals and decide which ones that I want, because I'm clearly not going to use all of them on my layout. Oh my gosh, she did such a great job creating these. And then I'm going to go through my wildflowers and pick out the flowers that best match what I've got going on. And I throw in a couple butterflies here and there. And the best part is including that plaid Mintay. That brings in a whole lot more color other than just brown and green, which you guys know me, I love playing with my browns and my greens. But it also brings in that, is it aqua? I don't know. I think, no, it's more like teal. I don't know, you guys, juniper color. It's not quite green, not quite blue. But more green than it is blue. So I'm able to bring in all of those other colors. And as you can tell, now that I've separated out all of the purples and other colors that were probably in the flower pack, now that I've separated out, it matches a lot better. So I'm able to work with this. Just deciding which paper is going to get my photos, and at first I decided the green, and then I thought, oh nope, I don't really like the plaid on my wood grain because it matches a bit too much. So I think I'm going to use the plaid as my photo mats and use the green and the wood grain for my papers. As you can tell, I went in and brought in 2 more photos, and then I had to bring in base papers. Like, what? Wait a minute, I don't have enough paper here to create a layout at all. Like, I I've got nothing. So it kind of makes me wonder, when I put this page kit together, what was I thinking? And then I remembered I was thinking the fact that Lisa's sketch was an 8.5 by 11, and I was stretching it to a 12 by 12. Well, then I decided to stretch it even farther because I have so many pictograph pictures that basically are of these unique rocks. I've got pictures of rocks, you guys. Yes, I do. Going into my layout, and I'm able to, I usually make them into pocket pages because I had so many. But they were the rock formations are just so unique. And I don't know, in all honesty. I'm not really sure why I feel the need to have every single rock picture in my album. But it's actually a birthday memory. This is what I wanted to do for my birthday. So we went to Austin, Texas, and this was back in 2021. I'm still in 2021, you guys. So for 2021, we went down to Austin, Nevada. Did I say Texas? I probably did because I always do. I went down to Austin, Nevada, went to the Stokes Tower, which is, Nevada's own castle that they have going on. And then we decided to drive south to Eureka and go check out the pictographs, which is really cool because it is all these beautiful rock formations and a little trail that you follow. And every now and then when there's a more significant one to ooh and ah over, they will put up a sign that says, oh, here it is, pay attention. And then, of course, as you're walking through the rocks, you get to see and identify more, even though they're not as prominent as the ones that are posted about. So basically they just wanted you to pay attention to the ones that, were prominent. But if you start looking at the rock formations, you got to see a lot more than just what was posted, if that makes any sense. So, which is one of the things that my kids and we just absolutely love to do. All right. So I'm going to take this Minte piece of paper. I'm going to cut it in little strips, and then that way I can use the little strips as what Lisa used on her sketch with up in the upper left-hand corner. And so I'm going to stretch it across. I'm going to do the upper left-hand corner, but I'm also going to do the bottom right-hand corner as well. I don't know where I went. I apologize. I am sorry about that, you guys. So here I am going to spread out my papers. I'm going to try my hardest to keep them in the camera view, you guys. I really did not realize that 1 inch is a huge difference from creating and where my spot is for, how far away I create. But anyways, I still want to apologize up and down for the fact that everything is pulled down and you don't get to see edge to edge, because I gotta say it's hard to watch a creator create and the bottom of the page is cut off, even though they're not doing anything to the bottom of the page. It's still really rough. Like right now, push it up. Okay. Anyways, so I'm going to lay out my photos. And for this one, she has 1 photo on her sketch. I'm going to do 4. Even if I was to only have done this sketch as is, I still really wanted to at least have the 2 photos. But now that I'm stretching it, I really want the 4 photos. But over on the left page, I really lose the aspect of the design by having such large photos. And so I'm going to have to arrange my photos just a little bit in order to keep that aspect alive. And then I decided that my background paper is just too pretty and clean and crisp for an outdoor layout. So I picked out this stencil. This stencil is March's stencil of the month in my monthly box. If you guys are interested, I felt like it really went well with my I don't want to call it a hospital theme, but it's like an owie theme going on. And this, the stitches and the numbers and all that good stuff are just, it's a perfect combination for this monthly box. So I'm going to use it with whatever ink I had left over of my teal blender brush. That's all I'm doing. I don't even know what color it is or what color combination it is. I'm just hoping that I have enough ink left over on this brush to do all the way around the perimeter, because in all honesty, I wouldn't know which ink to go and grab if I run out. Yeah, I'm basically cleaning my brush through a stencil. Yep, that's me. What's also really cool about using whatever's on your brush is that the stencil ends up getting dirty, but it doesn't dry. So you are able to move that pigment around and keep your brush alive, because you've got pigment to play with throughout the stencil after you've smeared ink all over it. So you also have to be very careful, because it is not dry and it might possibly get on your fingers where you're touching the stencil and applying it, if that makes any sense. I hope that does. I'm also trying to move and manipulate the stencil so that way you don't always get the same design over and over again, but I'm also trying to keep the stitches going in the same direction. I didn't want to, twist it a little bit or anything like that. So then the last thing I'm going to do is take whatever ink I have on my brown blender brush and go ahead and scuff up the edges just a little bit, giving it, again, a little bit more distressed look and dirt look, and it's just too pretty, you guys. It's too crisp and clean for an outdoor layout. So once I think I'm done, I'm not. I decided that I'm going to splatter. Yep. So here is where I was going to be like, oh, I'm done. Nope, I'm not. Sorry, I lied. I really think that it needs a little bit more. So I went into my mica spray. This is Tim Holtz mica spray. I think it's called Frayed. And I am just going to splatter, splatter, splat, splat all over the edges and the perimeter of my layout. And I am much more happier with this, except for I might have used distress ink. My blender brush might have had distress ink. So now I want to distress the ink just a little bit more. So I'm going to splatter some water in hopes that it will disperse some of the ink. Well, it doesn't. It only makes a mess on my layout, but now I did it to one page. I have to do it to the other page. It's just, a give-take thing, and I have to do it. So there is my layout. The border of my layout. It's not so pretty anymore. I'm much more happier with it not being crisp and clean. I love it. I really, really do. So I'm going to go ahead and put my wood grain down and use my ruler to make sure that it is straight across. And I stuck it to my desk. But because these papers are on the thinner side, they're not super, super thin, but they're not 49 in market quality. I do have to be careful peeling it up, because you could accidentally rip it and then it just, oh my gosh, that sort of thing. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and put the other side down on my right page and then work on doing a little bit more trimming and whatnot. I didn't get it exactly. I think the paper moved as I was putting it down, but she's stuck now. So I don't think that little gap's going to matter, because in all honesty, in between these two pages, I do have pocket pages. So I'm going to go ahead and decide where my photos were going to be before putting my green piece down. Measuring it out one more time to make sure that it is straight across. Even that one slightest little bit would, little bit of angle would throw me all off, you guys. I don't know why it's such a big deal. I really don't. I forgot again where it goes, so I'm going to try it one more time and put it down. I don't put my two papers down because it's just such a thin gap in between the two papers that I really didn't want to have to use an X-Acto knife and then it get all wonky, or now I have a huge gap, that sort of thing. So I only glue one side down and then I glue the other side down, in case you are curious how that all works out. I'm going to scuff up the edges of my Minte green wood strips. And I feel like they are the perfect addition to this layout, and it also brings in a little bit more of that color for the Pretty Little Studio leaves and things that I plan on bringing in. So super, super good touch. I feel like this layout is coming together nicely. And I'm going to glue my photos down, and I'm going to leave a small little gap because I do want that green to come down. All right. Sorry about that, you guys. I got interrupted for a hot minute. So over on the right side, I felt like it was missing one, and I only got 3 strips from the Mente wood grain. I really felt like I was missing something over on this right side. So I went ahead and I brought in the branding strip from the wood grain paper. And I just felt like it was it's almost like a cartoony wood grain, but it's a good addition over on that one side to give me that extra little something that I was looking for. Okay, so now I know I want 3 clusters because Lisa put 3 circles on her sketch, which meant she wanted 3 clusters as well. So I'm going to go through and decide where I want all of my pieces. And it's a divide and conquer thing yet again. So I divided up all my wax seals that I picked out into 3 different areas. And I'm roughly going where Lisa really wanted hers to go with as well. And then I'm going to divide and conquer all of my leaves and floral bits. Now I picked the yellow floral bits just to bring in a little bit of color, but not too bright and in your face colors. And then there's a little bit that I had to fussy cut out, that the inner bits, that just got kind of hung up a little bit. So it's not a big deal. I just had to fussy cut them out just a little bit. I have that little, what is it called? It's almost like a trunk ring, trunk latch, opener thing, that I thought would be a good touch too. I put it in the upper right corner or upper right cluster, but I decided no, I'm going to bring it down to the bottom right cluster. I felt like it was a little bit more of a showcase piece. I love how the hinge is shown in that upper left cluster up there. And then here I'm just sharing with you guys the close-up of what my background looks like and how it was all put together. Basically sharing too that the water did absolutely nothing. You could omit that step if you choose to. I just took a chance to see if it was going to do anything, and it did not. And I love how this turned out. I love the color combination and everything of how it turns out. And it's still subtle enough to where my photos still pop up off the page and are noticeable and whatnot. And it's almost like a hidden, like one of those seek and find books, to find the pictographs that are in this, or petroglyphs. I'm sorry, I keep saying pictographs. I apologize. They're petroglyphs inside the rocks. And so my kids really do love going through and looking at these specific photos to see if they could remember where they are at. All right, Lisa, thank you so very much for this amazing sketch. I had a blast stretching it across 2 pages. It was super fun. So I have a couple links down below. Those gals that are playing along with Stretch the Sketch, their direct links are down below. And then, of course, Christy's Beautiful Life. I have a Facebook link for her in case you guys want to go see all the other previous series of sketches that she has. I mean, huge library of sketches, you guys. Absolutely amazing. And then, of course, the playlist for those of us sharing how we are creating using these sketches here on YouTube. All right, you guys, thank you again for hanging out with me. I truly appreciate it, and I will check y'all later.